네, 여기는 두카티 부스인데 보시는 것처럼 언베일링 할 모델들이 엄청 많죠. 두카티가 이번에 마지막 컨퍼런스여서 그렇습니다. 사실 이 중에 모델들이 뭐 이미 나온 것들도 많이 있는데, 그러니까 두카티가 이런 모터쇼에서 한 번에 짜라란 공개하는 게 아니라 일주일에 하나씩 기간을 두고서 이렇게 미리 월드 프리미어를 하거든요, 온라인으로. 코로나 때 그렇게 한번 하더니 그게 반응이 좋았는지 계속 그렇게 하고 있습니다. 그래서 미리 그래도 공개된 모델들이 있어서 좀 살펴보자면, 이거는 몬스터 신형 그 V2 엔진이 들어간 몬스터고, 그래서 여기가 이제 몬스터가 이렇게 써있죠. 아, 이거 괜찮은가? 몬스 같아, 몬스. 그래서 그 파니갈레 V2에서 봤었던 그 엔진, 그 890cc 짜리 그 엔진이 들어가서 새로운 몬스터라고 할 수가 있겠죠. 여기도 인터뷰하는 거 보니까 뭐 이 도미니칼리 이 사람도 있고, 파브리도 있네. 예, 이것도 신형 몬스터인데 파츠들이 얘는 들어갔네요. 뭐 머플러라든지 저런 카본 파츠라든지 펜더 같은 거라든지 카본 파츠들이 들어간 거고. 그리고 얘는 뭐야? 이거는 얘는 파니갈레 V4R입니다. 네. 야, 얘는 거의 뭐 데스모 세비치 아닌가? 네. 론치 스타트 버튼이 저렇게 있나봐요. 네. 이야, 저 N이 왜 있지? 타이어도 슬릭이고, 얘가 거의 끝판이지. 그리고 이거는 V4S, 스파 V4S. 또 여기 이제 RS 모델들이 또 있는데, 디아벨 V4 RS입니다. 전에 이 옆에 있는 멀티스트라다 V4 RS는 보여드렸었는데, 나머지 멀티스트라다들이랑 얘는 완전히 다른 차였어가지고 그냥 감히 짐작하는데, 이 디아벨 V4 RS도 그렇지 않을까 라는 생각이 들고요. 뭐 이런 리버리 같은 거는, RS 리버리 같은 건 둘째 치고, 뭐 단조 휠이라든지 저 마그네슘인가, 그리고 이런 파츠들 보면 그냥 돈을 바른 오토바이라고 볼 수가 있겠는데, 이 뒤에 테일보드 미쳤네. 야, 여기도 이게 카본이야. 그래서 이걸 보다가 그냥 디아벨을 보면, 야, 이건 뭐 그냥 크루저 같다는 생각이 들죠. 예. 그리고 얘는 멀티 V4 RS고, 저쪽에 스크램블러들이 있는데, 여기에 이것도 있네요. 이거 그 나이트 시프트인가? 네. 이 색깔 이쁘다. 우리나라에 이 색깔은 안 들어온 것 같은데, 그때 인디펜던트인가 뭐가 들어왔었죠? 이게 뉴 컬러래. 오, 스크램블러 기름 탱크가 이런 색깔이 새로 생겼대요. 요거랑 이것도 생겼네. 이거 이쁘겠다. 여기 이제 우리나라는 이렇게 커스텀 할 수 있는 가능성이 크진 않지만, 스크램블러들이 기름 탱크를 색깔을 이렇게 많이 고를 수 있죠. 이 중에 이 색깔도 예뻐 보이는데 나는 고급스럽네. 그리고 여기는 얘도 V4 랠리, 랠리가 있고, 이것도 신형인 것 같은데. 네, 컬러가 달라진 거군요. 투톤이 됐네. 오, 엄청 편하게 탔던 기억이 나요, 이 V4 랠리는. 네, 탱크도 더 컸던가 얘가. 아우, 오, 이런 국방색도 있어. V2S. 야, 저 개인적으로는 데스모 450이 너무 궁금한데, 그냥 완전 미친 아드레날린만 생각해서 만든 오토바이 같아. 저 시트하며 너무 재밌겠네. 타이어는 또 이렇게 해서, 이거는 그 데모 사진 보면 정말, 야, 정말 미치광이처럼 탈 수가 있겠구나 라는 생각이 들더라고요. 잠깐. 하하. 클러치도 궁금해요, 이 데스모 450은. 그리고 여긴 또 이거는 머신인가봐. 그러네, 데스모 250 MX 프로 프레스티지 MX2 챔피언십에 나갔었던 알레산드로 루피노가 탔었던 그 차입니다. 그 차를 그대로 가져온 거고, 여기가 지금 아직 그 컨퍼런스를 안 했는데도 사람들이 많네. 아, 저기 저 도미닉 칼리도 있구나. 아, 지금 뭐 미디어 인터뷰를 하는 중인가 봐요. 자, 이거는 그 698인 것 같은데 원래 이랬나? 이건 시승기를 제가 보여드렸었죠. 얘만 해도 전 충분히 재밌었습니다. 그래서 저 데스모 450은 어떨지 상상이 안 가네. 오늘 마지막 프레스 컨퍼런스가 두카티인데 7시에 시작하는데도 이렇게 사람들이 많이 기다리네요. 이탈리아 브랜드라 그런 것 같아요. 물론 이탈리아 브랜드가 여기 뭐 수두룩하게 나오긴 했는데.
Ciao a tutti, good evening, welcome at the Ducati booth. I know that it's been a pretty long day, but we have some very cool bikes to unveil in this live Ducati World Premiere. But before starting the unveiling, let me call here on the stage our CEO, Claudio Domenicali. Thank you.
Thank you, Giulio, and a strong welcome also from my side to everyone here to this Ducati 2026 World Premiere here at EICMA. It's very emotional being here in front of so many people, and let me just start this presentation explaining what we think about this company, that we feel has some very special character. So when you put together the heritage of the company, everyone knows actually our foundation date is 1926, so next year will be very special for us. The design that make for us so relevant when we put together a product, the technology that we have in the current model range, and also the result that you achieve in racing recently, in the most recent past. I think every one of you can consider that this company is a kind of unique in the whole motorcycle world, and that may make us very proud and is a strong foundation for everything we'll do and for the new model. It's a company that actually work a lot in the relationship with our clients, trying to get from them the best possible recommendation. We really think that our client should be an ambassador for us, and we are guided through NPS, which is Net Promoter Score, and that will help us making sure that actually every client get the best relationship with us. And the NPS that we have as Ducati today is the best ever in the company history. Not only that, but also everything we've done in developing the quality of the motorcycle and the technology and the material you have chosen have given for us some exceptional result. We have some friends here. These are the director of Motorrad that actually tested our multistrada for an incredible long-term endurance test. It's 100,000 kilometers done by them, and actually only the multistrada and another bike in all the motorcycle arena have been tested for 100,000 kilometers. And the quality of the engine, and actually have the engine parts up there, so actually you can check directly yourself, was exceptional after 100,000 kilometers. They said they never found an engine in such a condition after 100,000 kilometers. And that makes us very, very proud. When you put that in the context of all the history and the heritage that we have had, and so everything we have had in terms of the number of bikes that we have developed in this 100 years, make us very confident for the future. And this is the reason why we enter into this 2026 with a lot of expectation. And actually this is the logo on which we started celebration. So a company with a lot of history, 100 years, with a fantastic technology in the product, incredible racing success, and actually events like the WDW, which feel invited, all of you. It will be very special, because actually we do our centenary WDW next year in Misano, and believe it, will be a remarkable party. With all that said, we are ready to enter into the bulk of the presentation. Some of the new models are already shown here, and so we see already some of the models that we described by Giulio, but many other are even more interesting, and Giulio will guide us through that. With all said, thank you very much for being here, and have a nice evening. Thank you so much.
Guys, it will be mega. You should come. You should come. 4th of July, the birthday of Ducati, 100 years. It will be absolutely an unforgettable event. So as Claudio said, it's time to start to unveil some new bikes. This season of the Ducati World Premiere started pretty early. So at the beginning of September, when we launched the 2RS, so the new RS family, they are over there. But just last week, we unveiled the new Monster. That is the 5th generation of one of the most iconic motorcycles that we have in our model range. And today, here, this is the live, the first time that you can see this bike from live. As Claudio said, we already have some bike, starting with the yellow one, because as you know, yellow for many years was the second red for Ducati. There are bikes that became famous, I don't want to say just, but mainly because they were yellow. We reintroduced again the yellow in racing last year, putting the color on the Pecco, 2 years ago, sorry, in the Pecco Bagnaia and the Ducati MotoGP team and World Superbike team. And today we are ready to unveil the first production motorcycle again in yellow. That there are the 2V2, so the new Panigale V2 in Giallo Ducati, as we like to say, and the Street Fighter V2 in Giallo Ducati. Big applause for these bikes. The yellow came back after many years, guys. Then we have the Corse library. I'm pretty sure that most of you remember the Panigale V2 Model Year 19 in the Corse library. That time, the library was inspired from the MotoGP library. This year, we wanted to give the same flavor or racing library, not only on the Panigale V2, but also on the Street Fighter V4. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the new Panigale V4 and Street Fighter V4 with the Corse library. Let's start to unveil some bikes. Some meat that is coming, or change gear and open the gas. As you know, our factory riders, Pecco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez, used to train for the MotoGP with the Panigale V2. They use a lot the Panigale V2 during the winter and also between races. So we wanted to dedicate them a special version of this bike. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Panigale V2 MM93 and the the Panigale V2 FB63. These two bikes are not just libraries. Of course, the Pecco Bagnaia bike is inspired by the graphic of the helmet of Pecco, that is the camo, the red camo that Pecco also have on the gloves and in the boots. Instead, the Marc Marquez version is inspired, of course, from the bike that Marc used last year during the winter test. But on this bike, we wanted to enhance their racetrack attitude. That's why we equipped them first with the forged wheels. It is the first time on the new Panigale V2 with forged wheels. The forged wheels, ladies and gentlemen, are lighter, around 1.5 kilos, so makes these bikes more agile. Then we have the steering damper, the all-ins steering damper, the lower clip-on, and the forged, the machine, triple clamp with the name of the bike and the number, because these two bikes are numbered. Then the bikes are also equipped with dedicated hand grips that are derived or inspired by those who the riders use on their MotoGP, and also a racing plexiglass. So all this stuff make this bike much more, let's say, ready for the racetrack. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the new Panigale V2 in the Marc Marquez and the Pecco Bagnaia library. Let's start to see some proper new bikes, completely brand new bikes. If you think about fun and adrenaline, there is just one bike that delivers both of them at the first sight. We present the first prototype of this bike 20 years ago, here at EICMA show. It was just a prototype, but I'm pretty sure that you remember it. It was the Hypermotard 1100. But I'm also pretty sure that you also remember the famous trick made by Ruben Chaus. And Ruben is with us. So please, Ruben, join me on the stage. Welcome.
Welcome.
20 years of sliding.
Time's running very fast.
But, Ruben, how did you do that? Why? What happened?
I was inside the family Ducati, and every time we should promote new products, I was always called to be part of these products. I was doing a lot of supermoto at that timing, and that event was in Morris, I remember, a very fast track.
I was there as a journalist at the time.
Long straight, 220 kilometers per hour, and I must be there 3 days. Lap one, I said, oof, that's going to be very boring, supporting and holding journalists like you. So, since lap one, I said, let's get fun. And we start doing those slides, 50, 60 meters away, and we ended at the end, after 3 days, doing thumbs up, figures, and it came out very nicely.
Guys, I'm pretty sure you remember this picture. This picture became viral before the social media. So it was amazing, it was amazing. You also had the chance to ride the new Hypermotard V2. What do you think about it, Ruben?
The new one is more hyper than ever.
Really? So I think it's time to see the bike in action.
Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same page.
So, I'll try my famous trick. Come on, let's go and show it to me.
So after 20 years of sliding, fun and adrenaline, Ruben hand over the famous trick to Kevin. So Kevin Bandi, please join me on the stage. For those who doesn't know Kevin, Kevin is a professional supermoto rider, multi-time European champion. He was also in our video in the Hypermotard 698 Mono, and this time he rode the new V2. So, Kevin, how is the new Hypermotard V2?
Fun, very special bike, so incredible bike.
Do you think that this bike is more hyper than ever?
Yeah. It's a fantastic bike.
But I think that, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to see the bike? Both of them? So, Ruben, please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the new Hypermotard V2. And Kevin, please unveil the bike for us. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the new Hypermotard V2 SP. Thank you guys. These two amazing riders will be with us this evening. So you will have the chance to... I was a big fan of him, even when I was a journalist. So, guys, thank you very much. See you later. So they both said that new Hyper is more hyper than ever. Why? Because it's lighter, more powerful, more compact, and more sophisticated. After 20 years, this is the fourth generation of this bike. And to design this amazing motorcycle, our designer took inspiration from the very first one, so the 1100. And you can recognize the two bikes are very similar, starting from the front of the bike, with the beak and the headlight, the tank cover, the rear Trios frame, of course, the two exhausts under the seat, and the rear lights. If you look at the bike, for those who can see the bike, then you can see closer, of course. You can see that this bike is very compact, very narrow, thin. This is possible because we use the unique chassis architecture made by the monocoque, the monoscocca frame, that uses the engine as a stress part for the chassis. Engine that, by the way, is the new Ducati V2, that is the lightest V2 engine ever made by us, by Ducati. And talking about lightness, the new Panigale V2 is 13 kilos lighter than the previous bike. Instead, the SP is 14 kilos lighter than the previous generation of the Hypermotard SP. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine the effect, the behavior of the bike with this reduction of weight? I can tell you because I also test the bike. It's huge. It's amazing. These are really more hyper than ever. And they are more hyper than ever also because they use the V2 engine in the 120 horsepower configuration, so the most performance. These Hypermotard are the most performing with the highest level of horsepower ever made by Ducati. The new engine is perfect for the Hypermotard because it's very strong torque curve that delivers already, starting from 3000 RPM, the 70% of the torque. Of course, the bike is available in the 35 kilowatts version. But if 120 horsepower are not enough, mounting the racing exhaust from Terminioni, the full racing exhaust, you raise the power, you raise the torque, you reduce the weight, and you make this Hypermotard, again, more hyper than ever. Talking about the chassis, which are the differences? Of course, the bikes are different not only for the library. The Hypermotard V2 is equipped with the Kayaba fork, suspension and rear shock, Brembo 320mm disc, together with the M432 calipers and the casted wheels. Instead, the Hypermotard SP has front fork and rear shock made by Ollins. Both bikes are equipped as standard equipment with the steering damper made by Sachs. Disc brakes the same, 320, but the SP has the M50 calipers by Brembo. Last but not least, but to tell the truth, very important, the new Hypermotard V2 SP is equipped with forged wheels that reduce the weight again, more or less 1.5 kilos, and make the Hyper more hyper than ever. For the first time since we launched the SP version, the two bikes has the same seat height. And very important, we have a big reduction in the inner leg. Tomorrow when the bike will be displayed on the ground, you can jump on the bike and see, because now you can put both feet on the ground pretty easily compared to the previous generation. Of course, the new Hypermotard comes with a brand new full TFT dashboard, 5 inches, that has 3 different views. On the track, one, we replicate what you see when you are on the Panigale V4. For example, when you are riding, you can change the level of the controls, and when the controls are working, they switch on, exactly as on the Panigale V4. Then we have a completely full suite of rider assist control. 4 reading modes, 3 power modes, 4 level, first time on the Hyper, for the ABS, traction control, wheelie control, everything you need to enjoy and ride safely, both on the road and on the racetrack. And of course, for these two bikes, we develop a long list of Ducati performance accessories. So, what to say? Welcome to the new Hypermotard family, the V2 family, more hyper than ever. I'm pretty sure that most of you already saw that there is something new in the middle of our booth. There is the new Ducati world, off-road Ducati world, growing. Last year, or less in this area, we presented the prototype of the racing bike of the Desmo 450 MX that now is on our stores all over the world and is available to see from live in the new off-road area. But there are also some new novelties. And to tell you about these new novelties, I just want to call on the stage with me Edoardo Carrai.
Hello everybody, I'm Edoardo Carrai. As Giulio mentioned, we developed the Desmo 450 MX racing the Italian Motocross Championship. And well, it was the good choice, the right path. And so we decided to develop also the 250 racing the Italian Championship with Alessandro Lupino. We won a race, we got some pole positions, and today you can see there Alessandro's bike that will anticipate the Desmo 250 MX that will come next July. So, the Desmo 450 was praised by the motocross community for its confidence-inspiring handling, and the Desmo 250 is even easier and more agile, especially thanks to the brand new 250 Desmo engine that was designed completely from scratch with the aim to be lightweight, effective, and high-wrapping. and also thanks to the electronic pack that is the reference in the segment, especially thanks to the Ducati traction control that is considered a game changer for the off-road world. But off-road is not only motocross in the racetrack, it's also tackling natural obstacles in the forest, in the desert, or wherever there is no road. There were many rumors about it, many people waiting for it, me first, and today I have the pleasure to give you a preview of the Desmo 450 Enduro. Well, this bike was developed on the motocross platform, but of course it's homologated, street legal. The engine was specifically tuned for enduro, so 6-speed gearbox. Also the chassis has all the necessary features for the enduro. We developed this bike relying on the experience that we gained in the last year in the off-road and also on the collaboration with enduro pro riders and world champions. And the result is an extremely agile bike, easy to turn, fast in the woods. And also here, as for the motocross, we're gonna be the reference in terms of electronics, also for the enduro. The bike will be available starting from next July, and we will share all the information starting from April 2026.
Thank you, Edo.
Thank you very much.
As Edo said, these two bikes are a preview for you guys. There will be another preview. We will unveil all the details at the beginning of next year. I don't know if you remember, but Ducati, the modern Ducati era, Ducati moved the first steps off-road to the big twin-cylinder bikes, the adventure bikes. And to tell you about this story, I just want to call on the stage here Andrea Rossi.
Hello everyone. Yes, Giulio, it's true. Ducati approached the off-road world more or less 10 years ago with the Multistrada 1200 Enduro. And maybe some of you remember that in 2019 we presented here in EICMA a concept of a Ducati DesertX, a bike with more specific off-road features as the 18-21 inches wheels. And after 3 years, we launched the definitive bike, the DesertX, that all of you maybe know. But developing process never stopped. And we listen a lot the feedback of our clients and the feedback of the Maxi Enduro riders. And thanks to this feedback, today we have the opportunity to share with you and to present to you the next generation, a preview of the next generation of the Ducati DesertX. Welcome to the new Ducati DesertX preview. As I told you, it's a preview that we can share to you only some information. As the engine is the V2 engine, 890cc, is a layout, the V2, that is very exciting and unique layout in a world of very common parallel two cylinders. This engine delivers 110 horsepower, and all of you know